Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming for this good occasion, great occasion. A lot of announcements to make, so we'll call the meeting to order. Any conflicts of interest for items on the agenda? None noted. Adoption of the minutes of the LaSalle Police Service Board Committee and public meetings on held March 21, 22 be adopted as presented. Moved by Mr. Allen, support Deputy Mayor Malash. All in favor? That carries. Thank you. We're going to change the agenda from LaSalle Police Service Officer swearing in and recognition ceremony and the introduction of police constables for the end, because that's the best part. So this meeting should not go quick, right? All right, so we have information items to be received. First item is LaSalle Police Services Board 2022 Correspondent Summary number 3. Moved by Mr. Comsa. Support by Mr. Allen. All in favor? That carries. Thank you. Crime Stoppers Coordinator and Statistical Report March and April 2022. Moved by Mr. Comsa, support by Deputy Mayor Malash. All in favor? That carries. LaSalle Police Services fourth quarter financial report 2021 and first quarter financial report 2022. Mr. Allen, move. Questions? No. Support Ms. Houston. All in favor? That carries. We have LaSalle Police Service monthly statistics February and March 2021 versus 2022. Moved by Mr. Comsa, support Deputy Mayor Malash. All in favor? That carries. Thank you. LaSalle Police Services financial statements and capital expenditures. Moved by Mr. Allen, support Ms. Houston. All in favor? That carries. LaSalle Police Services Board financial statements and general ledger details March and April 2022. Moved by Mr. Comsa, support Deputy Mayor Malash. All in favor? That carries. Questions, statements by board members? Phew, that didn't take long. Thank you. We'll go to the, want that? We're going to invite the chief and the deputy chief to say a few words. Oh, just the chief? Sorry, Jason, you're not talking. You were told. Oh, we want to get out of here before dark. Okay. It's being streamed, so you have to use the mic. Thank you.
Okay. Right. Okay. Mayor Bondi and members of the Police Services Board, it's certainly been it's my pleasure to stand here in front of you today to obviously introduce and acknowledge and stand with some of the members of our police.
We can hear you, but the live streaming audience can't.
Test 1, 2. I could stand a bit closer. Anyway, members of the board and members of our community, family members, members of our service, I stand here in front of you, taking this opportunity to welcome each of you here. And it's certainly my honor to stand here in front of you to acknowledge the hard work and dedication of some of our members of our service and being promoted. Just a bit of background on this last year, last 17 months, taking over as acting chief and then permanent as the chief for LaSalle Police Service. It's been a year of transformation and transition, and a lot of changes have taken place. There's been a lot of interim, or I guess informal leaders that have stepped up and come forward, and some of them are sitting here in front of you today. And there's certainly a dedicated bunch of people that have put their best foot forward, have entered objective promotional processes, have met the criteria, and obviously have been selected for advancement within our organization, and we are very, very proud of them. So without further ado, I'd like to call up Deputy Chief Jason Woods.
I'm just going to introduce Deputy Chief Jason Woods. Jason has been married to Natalka Woods for 21 years, and they have 2 children together, Benjamin 16 and Timothy 13. Jason was raised in Amherstburg by his parents, Suzanne and the late Danny Woods. Danny was a retired Windsor Police Service Staff Sergeant. Jason's brother, John Michael, is also a police officer with the Windsor Police Service. Jason attended St. Thomas of Villanova High School and later St. Clair College, where he received a diploma in law and security. In his off time, Jason enjoys coaching basketball for his boys' team and is an avid cyclist who competes all over Ontario and Michigan. Jason began his policing career in 1999 when he was hired by the Peel Regional Police and started with the LaSalle Police Service in 2001. Since he has been a member of the LaSalle Police Service, Jason has been the Community Liaison Officer, Use of Force and Firearms Instructor, PAVIS Officer, Criminal Investigation Supervisor, and Staff Sergeant. In February 2021, Jason assumed the duties and responsibilities of Acting Deputy Chief. Although his new role was challenging, his goals and priorities for the LaSalle Police Service aligned with those of Chief Davies and the LaSalle Police Services Board. Together, Jason and Chief Davies began to restructure the service's organizational structure in order to better serve the community, address operational and investigative needs for the officers, and continue to work on modernizing the service. Jason looks forward to his new role and the challenges that it will bring. He will endeavor to do his best to help the LaSalle Police Service remain one of the best police services in the country and help to keep the town of LaSalle one of the safest communities to live.
Just want to read it.
Repeat after me. So I, Jason Woods,
I, Jason Woods,
solemnly swear
swear
that I will be loyal to Canada
that I will be loyal to Canada
and that I will uphold the Constitution of Canada
and that I will uphold the Constitution of Canada
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
preserve the peace,
preserve the peace,
prevent offenses,
prevent offenses,
and discharge my duties as a deputy chief
and discharge my duties as a deputy chief
faithfully, impartially, and according to law.
faithfully, impartially, and according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God. Oh, okay. I will keep this short. Mayor Bondi, Deputy Mayor Malash, Mr. Allen, Ms. Hosted, and Mr. Comsa. Thank all of you for having faith in me to do this job. I know that it was a whirlwind, like basically 17 months. Many of you didn't know me that well leading up to this, but you gave me a chance and are still giving me the chance. And, I'm looking forward to the challenge. So thank you very much. To my wife and boys, thanks for being here. My mom, thank you for making it out. You guys have had to put up with me missing events, missing birthdays, being called in. But really, if I didn't have your support and you guys weren't as understanding as you were, I don't think I would have been able to make it through and get to this point. So thank you very much. To all the LaSalle police officers here, not just the members in the front row, but those members back there watching. I guess all I can say to you guys is I promise that I will do this job selflessly, that decisions I make are going to be for you officers, for the service. Nothing I do is going to be just to make myself look better or seem better or protect myself. Everything is for you. And if I fall short of that, I hope that you guys walk in my office and, let me know. But I can promise you guys that every day I show up here, everything I'm doing is for you guys. Okay. Congratulations, everybody. So just a couple words from me about Jason, and I like to try to come up with a word that best describes people. And for when it comes to Jason, I'd consider him to be a very supportive individual and somebody who stood by my side from the beginning. And supportive, I mean that he has his own mind and he speaks his mind, and we both come to a rational decision on moving our service forward together. And that is very, very important. It's not a yes man. It's not somebody who creates conflict all the time. It's somebody who stands with you and sees the future, and we can identify together. And I'm glad to have him standing here with me today. So congratulations, Jason, buddy. Staff Sergeant Koznick.
So Nozad is of Kurdish descent. Although born overseas, he has lived in Essex County since 1976. Nozad is the son of Mohammed, deceased, and Almal Sinjari. He has 3 brothers and a sister. He is married to Sandra, and together they have a son who they are very proud of, 19-year-old Mateen Michael Sinjari, who continues to be a source of inspiration in their lives. In 1998, he graduated from the University of Windsor with a bachelor's in psychology. Before and during his years at the University of Windsor, he was an advocate for human rights. He attended and presented to numerous conferences in North America, Europe, and the Middle East. On November 8th, 1999, he was sworn in as a police constable with the town of LaSalle Police Service. 3 months later, he graduated from the Ontario Police College and returned to LaSalle, where he received further on-the-job training from Peter Chevalier, Daniel Fantetti, and Duncan Davies. Nozad was sent on a series of courses to continue his development as a police officer and to better serve the town of LaSalle. From 2002 until 2012, Nozad held the positions on the LaSalle Police Association Executive Board, where he served his fellow officers, assisted in developing a positive relationship with the Police Services Board through contract and pay equity negotiations, and volunteered for community events to represent both the LaSalle Police Service and the LaSalle Police Association. Recently, due to COVID, Nozad has reduced his volunteer time, but is awaiting to get back to it, when the pandemic settles. From 2007 to 2009, he was selected to be a member of the newly formed provincially funded Joint Forces operation known as the Anti-Violence Intervention Strategy. In 2010, Nozad was tasked with becoming a coach officer, enabling him to mentor a newly sworn constable for the year. In 2011, Nozad was selected to be a member of the LaSalle Police Service Criminal Investigative Division in the capacity of a detective constable. During this time, he was the designated criminal intelligence officer and the liaison to the Criminal Intelligence Service of Ontario. On March 17, 2013, he was promoted to the rank of sergeant. He enjoyed working, supervising, and leading the wonderful police officers this town is fortunate to employ. In 2020, Nozad proudly received his 20 years of exemplary service medal. He is looking forward to continuing his career in the new position of Staff Sergeant at the LaSalle Police Service under the guidance and direction of Chief Davies. I, Nozad Sinjari,
I, Nozad Sinjari,
solemnly swear that I will be loyal to Canada
solemnly swear that I will be loyal to Canada
and that I will uphold the Constitution of Canada
and that I will uphold the Constitution of Canada
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
preserve the peace,
preserve the peace,
prevent offenses,
prevent offenses,
and discharge my duties as a Staff Sergeant
and discharge my duties as a Staff Sergeant
faithfully,
faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and according to law.
and according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'd like to say thank you to the men and women on the Police Services Board. Thank you very much. To the chief and to the deputy chief, thank you very much for the opportunity. Also to my wife and daughter for their support. It's my wife and son. Sorry, the hair throws me off. Sorry, buddy. My wife and son for their support throughout the years. I can't tell you guys in this short amount of time how privileged I am to have been a member of the LaSalle Police Service. I look forward to working with everybody here. We truly have a team of heroes, and I'm very fortunate and very proud to be a part of that team. So thank you.
So if I may offer just a couple of words to describe Nozad, he's definitely an officer that is very knowledgeable and somebody that I can certainly rely on. So one thing that Nozad I noticed early on with him is he was a champion of finding facts and somebody that you can count on to really dig deep. So looking back over different pieces of legislation and laws, he's the guy who did the research. He's the guy that we can rely on for case law to tell us what's changed in the law and things like that. So definitely certainly somebody that's really going to be an advantage to our service and certainly to our leadership team. So I'm really privileged to have him on our team. So thank you.
So Sergeant Gerald Bruhn's father was a corporal major in the Italian army and traveled across the ocean in 1952 for a better life and became a successful laborer. Jerry's mother was born in Windsor and was a legal secretary for high-profile lawyers, hence his passion for law and order. At a very young age, he dreamt of becoming a police officer one day. Jerry was a safety patroller for his grade school and then later worked for a lawyer as part of his high school co-op program. He was self-motivated, self-directed, and determined to attend and graduate from a university. Prior to Jerry's employment with the organization, he attended the University of Windsor from 1990 to 1995. He successfully completed and obtained a Bachelor of Arts degree in sociology, and in doing so, completed and obtained a certificate in criminology. In August of 1996, Chief Larry Shaw gave Jerry the opportunity to become a member of the LaSalle Police Service. Jerry has cherished every moment, and he is blessed with the people that he has encountered from his experiences throughout his career. Jerry was instrumental in establishing the LaSalle Police Charity Golf Tournament in 2003. In 2004, he had the privilege to develop, organize, and create the LaSalle Police Youth Foundation. He then initiated the Kids, Cops, and Canadian Tire Fishing Derby in conjunction with the Strawberry Festival in 2014. Today, these initiatives are thriving with dedicated people. Jerry has also been a member of the LaSalle Police Association executive since 1998 and currently holds the position of president. He has successfully negotiated 3 collective agreements during his tenure and continues to look forward to having a respectful and collaborative working relationship with the Police Services Board and administration. Jerry was a volunteer football coach within the community and cherished the last 24 years coaching and mentoring the youth of our communities in Essex County. In 2009, Jerry married his Northern Star and Angel, Corinne, and shortly after, in 2010, he became a father to a handsome son, and in 2011, to a beautiful daughter. Jerry has dedicated his coaching knowledge, skills, and abilities to his children to help further them in their athletic pursuits. Fortunately, Jerry also felt compelled to give back to the LaSalle community as it becomes ingrained in him. He became a member of the LaSalle Minor Hockey Board of Directors and currently holds the position of Vice President. Jerry was promoted to Sergeant on December 20th, 2021. He maintains his current designations as Coach Officer and Accident Reconstructionist, a Domestic Violence Investigator, a Scenes of Crime Officer, a Major Case Management Team Member. He was also the Marine Coordinator for 10 years, and during this time, in an effort to build community partnerships, he established a Marine Safety Day where mariners could have their boats inspected for safety prior to commencing their boating season, and provided the community with the opportunity to have an open forum discussion with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, U.S. and Canadian Coast Guard, and U.S. and Canadian Customs officials. Jerry has managed to balance the needs of the service, family, and maintain a high standard of professionalism with his career. Jerry has just entered his 25th year with the LaSalle Police Service and will continue to strive to build working relationships with the public and fulfill his obligations as a police officer within the province of Ontario. hand. I, Gerald Bruhn, solemnly swear that
I, Gerald Bruhn, solemnly swear that
I will be loyal to Canada
I'll be loyal to Canada
and that I will uphold the Constitution of Canada
and that I will uphold the Constitution of Canada
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
preserve the peace,
preserve the peace,
prevent offenses,
prevent offenses,
and discharge my duties as sergeant
and discharge my duties as sergeant
faithfully,
faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and according to law.
and according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God. I'm a man of few words. So I'm going to keep it short today just because we have a bunch of people here, but I want to thank the board, Police Services Board, again, for allowing this to happen and for allowing us to be a part of this celebration. I want to thank my wife, and my children for being supportive and understanding throughout the career, and as well as all the officers involved. We met some good people along the way, and I believe that you become a part of everybody that you meet. So that shapes who I am today. And I'm thankful for everybody who's been involved in my life during my career. And I look forward to meeting with you guys tomorrow morning, maybe settle a fourth contract, and we can move on. And thank you so much.
And a couple of words I have for Sergeant Jerry Bruhn. Jerry and I started July 1996. We were both recruits with the LaSalle Police Service, hired in the same recruiting process. And it's been a long road for Jerry. If I was to describe Jerry in one word, I'd say it would be perseverance, because he's made it through. And here he stands before you as a man that had struggles along the way, saw things that none of us should see, and was involved in things that some of us hope we never get involved in. And he stands before you as one of the leaders of our service, and I'm proud to say he's my friend. So thank you.
So Sergeant James Nestor was born and raised in Windsor, Ontario. He graduated from the University of Windsor with an honors degree in criminology and a minor in sociology. He began his law enforcement career as a customs officer at the Windsor-Detroit Tunnel prior to being hired by the LaSalle Police Service in February of 2000 as a police constable. Jamie had married his wife Tammy in 1999 and built their first home in LaSalle, where they started their family. So joining the LaSalle Police Service and working within his own community was a goal achieved for Jamie. He and Tammy have two daughters, Haley and Avery, and a dog, Lambo, affectionately named after the founder of Jamie's favorite football team, the Green Bay Packers. Throughout his policing career, Jamie has been involved in many different aspects of service in addition to general patrol duties. He was the original coordinator of the service's ATV unit, assisting in its implementation and structure, and he's currently the coordinator for the LaSalle Police Marine Unit. One of his most proud career roles was being a VIP officer for 16 years, teaching the Values, Influences, and Peers program to the grade 6 students at LaSalle Public and Sandwich West Public Schools. This role made Jamie very popular with the LaSalle kids for his no-nonsense approach at teaching students their responsibilities within our community while blending that with fun events like a year-end scavenger hunt. He still crosses paths with kids in LaSalle who affectionately remember the fun they had with him in their class. During his career, Jamie also served as the LaSalle Police Community Liaison Officer. His responsibilities included media relations, school crossing guard, and safety patrol programs, in addition to school and community events and programs. Jamie was the originator of the LaSalle Police Service's social media presence, having created the LaSalle Police Service's Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube accounts. Throughout his 21 years in policing, Jamie has met and formed many lasting relationships with both coworkers and members of the LaSalle community. He is very grateful for the opportunities and rewarding experiences that being a police officer for the town of LaSalle has afforded him and his family. He is honored to be promoted to the position of sergeant and is looking forward to the next chapter in his policing career. I, Jamie Nestor,
I, Jamie Nestor,
solemnly swear that
solemnly swear that
I will be loyal to Canada
will be loyal to Canada
and that I will uphold the Constitution of Canada
and that I will uphold the Constitution of Canada
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
preserve the peace,
preserve the peace,
prevent offenses,
and
discharge my duties as a sergeant
discharge my duties as a sergeant
faithfully,
faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and according to law.
and according to law.
So help me.
So help me God. Oh, Thank you. Mr. Mayor, good mayor, members of the Police Services Board, Chief, Deputy, all the other officers here and families and friends. I just want to say thanks for the opportunity, giving me this opportunity. And the one thing I will say, thank you to my wife, who's kind of crying now, which I wasn't expecting. And my one daughter was able to make it today. I just stand before you humbled, like it's something I've wanted. Part of my career is to become in a supervisory capacity, and I'm proud that I'm able to do that. And then just to the members of LaSalle and people listening, I just want everyone to know that the town of LaSalle is in great hands. This administration that stands before you is first rate. Everybody here truly wants the best for this town, and they're just generally good people. And I'm so excited for the future and being a resident of this town, as well of where this town's going, and we're in good hands. So thank you very much, everybody.
And just with regards to Jamie, we call him Jamie, James Nestor. He's been an officer for 22 years and somebody that certainly we can rely on. If I had the word to describe Jamie, it would be diligent. And that's a person who's been there from the beginning, who puts his best foot forward. He's represented our service. He's been the face of our service as a community liaison officer. Obviously got us started on social media. And again, that shows, speaks to the testament and leadership of advancing our service and making sure that we're in step with what's going on around us and not thinking in isolation. So congratulations, Jamie.
Sergeant Nicholas Goy was born and raised in Goderich, Ontario, where he lived with his parents, Ron and Deanna Goy, and older sister, Cheryl Lynn. He graduated high school in 2001 from Goderich District College Institute and moved on to attend Lambton College in Sarnia. Nick successfully graduated from Lambton College in 2003 with a Police Foundation's diploma and the Dean's Award for the highest average in the program. In 2003, Nick moved to Windsor to attend university, where he enrolled in the criminology program. Nick was hired by the CBSA in 2004, where he was employed through their student program for 1 year before being hired full-time as a border services officer in 2005. He attended the CBSA training facility in Rigard, Quebec in the summer of 2005 and was deployed to the Windsor-Detroit Tunnel Port of Entry. Nick applied to LaSalle Police Service in the summer of 2006 and was hired on August 28, 2006 as a fourth-class constable. Nick received training as a forensics identification officer in 2010 and remained qualified in this discipline since that time. In 2012, Nick successfully completed his honors degree in criminology with a minor in psychology from the University of Windsor with distinction for the second highest mark in the program. Nick has worked in the Criminal Investigations Division at the LaSalle Police Service for a total of 5 years, with time in 2013 and again from 2017 until his current promotion to sergeant. Nick currently lives in LaSalle with his wife Talia, and 3 daughters, Aria, Claire, and Josie. Right hand and raise your left hand. Repeat after me. I, Nicholas Goy,
I, Nicholas Goy,
solemnly swear
solemnly
that
swear
I will be loyal to Canada
that I will be loyal to Canada
and that I will uphold the Constitution of Canada
and that I will uphold the Constitution of Canada
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
preserve the peace,
preserve the peace,
prevent offenses,
prevent offenses,
and discharge my duties as a sergeant
and discharge my duties as a sergeant
faithfully,
faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and according to law.
and according to law. So help me God. Thank you. Mayor Bondi, members of the Police Services Board, Chief Davies, Deputy Chief Woods, my fellow officers that are along the side here, as well as the officers in the back, thank you all for coming to support this great event. Thank you to my parents who are in the seating over there. I want to thank them for everything they've done for me throughout my life and instilling in me the values and ethics that it takes to be a police officer and has allowed me to attain this position of sergeant. Thank you to my wife Talia for all the love and support over the years, the call-ins, taking the kids so I can come in and serve this community effectively. And thank you to the children for being understanding when I have to miss things or drop things at the last second and come in when you know that we had things planned. So I love you guys very much. Thank you for coming. And thank you for using your patience muscles and being good girls.
And how do I describe Sergeant Nicholas Goy? I can tell you that as a junior officer coming to the LaSalle Police Service when he first started, he's as a young man beyond his years. I describe him with one word and say he's meticulous because he paid attention to detail. As a forensic identification officer, that's a requirement of the job and something that Nick certainly brings to our service and make sure the job gets done. But it's not just a matter of getting done, it's getting done and done well and reflecting the professionalism that we have at our service. So I look to Nick quite often for advice and guidance on something, even though he stands before each of us today as the most junior officer that's being promoted here today. And it's a testament to the quality of person that he is and somebody who's calm, has got a good demeanor, and is somebody that we can all rely on for sure. So thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Now we're going to do the introduction of police constables.
So I will now introduce Constable Oliver Jabrell. Oliver was born in Iraq and immigrated to Canada in January 1994. Shortly after arriving in Canada, his family relocated to Windsor, Ontario, where Oliver grew up. Oliver completed his post-secondary education, volunteered at numerous organizations, and held various employment positions in Windsor and Essex County. Oliver's policing career began in August 2014 with the Halton Regional Police Service. Oliver worked in the town of Oakville and city of Burlington. Oliver worked in various units, which include patrol, district, uniform support team, and with risk mitigation team. Oliver has participated in numerous courses and has earned designations such as coach officer and breath technician. He wanted to return to the Windsor area to be closer to his family and friends, all while serving the community he grew up in.
Oh, I like it. Okay. All right, a few words. I idolize Sergeant Bruhn, so I'm going to say the same thing he did. I want to be like him. I'm going to keep it short and simple. I do want to thank members of the board. I definitely wanted to come back home. It was really important to me to come back here and be closer to family. I want to thank the chief and the deputy. Obviously, this was one thing they wanted to do, is expand the service and hire some experience. I want to thank all the officers, my current sergeant, Sergeant Goy, all my shift mates that are back there. They've made my transition to LaSalle Police much easier than I thought. And I'll reiterate kind of what some of the other sergeants here said, that I think this town is in great hands. Really, really good service, good people who genuinely all care about the community they serve. So I just want to thank everybody and just say that I'm happy to be back home.
And we thank you, Constable Jabrail, for coming to LaSalle. We had a recruiting process that we went through in the fall of last year, looking for candidates that had experience from outside our service that can bring that experience to LaSalle. And having reviewed Constable Jabrail's background and that, he was the perfect fit for LaSalle. And I could tell you that he's fit in very well. We are a family here in LaSalle, and he's another brother and of the brothers and sisters of the LaSalle Police Service. So we're very grateful to have him, and we're thankful for him.
So I'd now like to introduce Constable Matthew Koznick. Matthew was born and raised in Windsor, where he attended Our Lady of Mount Carmel Elementary School and Holy Names High School. Matthew is the son of Tom and Chantel Koznick and the proud brother to older sister brother to older sister Stephanie. Following high school, Matthew enrolled in the political science program at the University of Windsor, where he completed his master's degree. With his deep passion for policing, Matthew enjoyed doing his thesis on the regional police model. Throughout his studies, he demonstrated a commitment to helping others in the community as a coach for several U16 teams for the Amherstburg Minor Soccer Association. In preparation for his career, Matthew progressed from the auxiliary constable to special constable at the Windsor Police and has continued his studies in intelligence analysis at Detroit Mercy. Matthew is currently a resident of LaSalle and is looking forward to serving his community as a member of the LaSalle Police Service. Matthew would like to thank his family and longtime girlfriend, Katie Harris, for their continued support, and a special thank you to the Chief and the Police Services Board for the opportunity to be part of a great team.
Again, I just want to thank Mr. Mayor and members of the LaSalle Police Services Board for allowing me to serve our community. It's truly a lifelong dream. And I also want to thank Chief Davies and Deputy Chief Wood on just, welcoming me to the LaSalle Police Service, as well as Staff Sergeant Sanjari and Staff Sergeant Foreman for their mentorship at the beginning of my career here. It's been a great help. Also want to thank Sergeant Goy and Platoon B for their warm welcome. I truly feel like I'm a part of a family. And I also want to thank Dave DeRoche, who is my coach officer. And I'm looking forward to learning from Dave. And I have a lot to live up to. Thank you, everyone.
A couple of words to say about Matt. We're certainly proud to have him join our police service. We went through a very objective constable selection process, and he obviously brings with him some years of experience working with another police service in a different capacity. But I believe he's going to serve the residents of LaSalle very well, and we're grateful to have him. So thank you.
And now I'd like to introduce Constable Alex Pavia. Alex is a lifelong resident of LaSalle, where he attended Holy Cross Elementary School and St. Thomas of Villanova Secondary School. After high school, Alex enrolled in the University of Windsor and graduated with an honors Bachelor of Commerce from the Odette School of Business. As a youth, Alex played travel hockey and soccer with the LaSalle Minor Hockey and the LaSalle Stompers Soccer Club. During his studies, Alex worked as a golf caddy at Essex Golf and Country Club and Colborough Equipment Rentals. Alex has a long history of community involvement, and in 2015, he was honored by the town of LaSalle and received a Citizens Award as the Junior Volunteer of the Year for his work with the LaSalle Minor Hockey Association. He has volunteered with Autism Ontario, Victim Services of Windsor, Essex, and to this date continues to work as a big brother for Big Brothers and Big Sisters, Windsor, Essex. He looks forward to honorably serving the LaSalle community and its residents. Alex would like to thank his parents, Anna and Dario Pavia, younger brother Nick, and all those that have provided support, mentorship, and advice in pursuit of his longtime goal of a career in law enforcement.
Well, I guess they do save the best for last. Firstly, LaSalle Police Board, thank you so much. It's an honor. To my fellow officers, staff, sergeants, I know it's scary letting someone as young as me to work alongside you, but I want to thank you for taking a chance on me and taking me in. To my parents, Dario and Anna, mom and dad, thank you for all you do. Without you guys, I wouldn't be where I am, and you made me the man I am today. My brother, you're my rock, man. I love you. Wouldn't be anywhere without you, and always push me to do better. Chief, deputy, thank you guys for also taking a chance on me. And growing up in LaSalle Police was a big part of the community, and I always knew that they were someone that we could rely on. And I feel like that's why LaSalle was, one of the safest communities in all of Ontario and Canada. And I plan on continuing that forward as my policing career continues. So thank you all so much.
And last, certainly but not least, Alex Pavia. And when we did our recruiting constable selection process, Alex's name kept coming up. And certainly a candidate, yes, he did mention he's young in years. But when we look for a candidate, we look for somebody that is going to last a lifetime with our service, and somebody who's going to be able to shape within the community. And obviously, some of the experiences Alex has been through already, and some of his involvement in community is definitely on the right track for our community. So he's going to do very well with our service, and we're very glad to have Alex. So thank you. And certainly last, before I end, I'd like to thank the families that are here. As Constable Guy kind of stole my thunder, thanking his family. I'd like to thank each one of you, because if it wasn't for you, then this wouldn't be possible for our people to be where they are. A lot of unsung heroes are the wives and the children and the husbands behind the scenes that don't show up to the calls like we do. As I mentioned, for Sergeant Bruhn, there's things that we see that the average person doesn't see. Officers can get cynical in their lifetime throughout their career, can have years of service, can bring on a different attitude and perhaps a jaded view. But I can tell you that we insist on positivity at our service. We insist on looking forward in a positive way. And each of these people that stand before you as leaders are looking to the future and looking to make things better. And that's what we want to do, is continue making things better for not only us, but for you, and also for our community and for our board and for our council. And that is the focus of our mission, of our goals and objectives. So if I can end just with the words of Charles Dickens, and I say this to each and every one of our officers, you know, may your hearts never be hardened. May you always be your temper never tire, and also that you have a touch that never hurts. Thank you.
We're going to have to officially adjourn this meeting, but just some closing comments. I just want to recognize our counselor Sue DeJarle and our CEO Joe Malicious back there, and Rick Hyra. He's getting ready for negotiations tomorrow. Jerry. 8:45 a.m. Are you ready? Well, I just have to say, the LaSalle police have been, I said pet peeve in our closed meeting, but it's been a dear passion of mine. Never wanted to be an officer, but fully respected everybody in LaSalle. What you do for this community goes beyond words we can say. I think Alex said we're one of the safest communities in Canada. We take pride in that. And I think every officer here, I can't see everybody there, but I remember when David DeRoche started, he was just a young guy. I'm not sure if he was older than Alex or younger, but he's turned out to be a fine officer, probably close to 10 years, David. I'm not sure. No. That's only 5. Wow. Seems like a long time ago. But anyway, as long as I'm around, which won't be much longer till December, but hopefully Crystal is, we both have the same commitment to keep LaSalle policing. Maybe after tomorrow to be different, Jerry, but our goal is, and I guess that's not good for negotiations to show our hand, but it's been that way. Anybody who knows me knows Jerry and I have had many conversations over the years. Jamie, Mike Foreman, Duncan, and Jason. I mean, you guys are like part of the family now, as you describe it. So I'm honored to lead this board and this municipality as the mayor and the chair of the board to do the changes and give Jason and Duncan the tools to make the changes in the hiring process. That hasn't happened in quite some time. I don't know what to say other than say thank you. They're only 2 words, but they mean a lot. So officially, we're going to adjourn this meeting, and you can go on with the family gatherings and pictures and what you need to do. So thank you, and meeting adjourned.